what is the most interesting moment from your childhood that you can recall?
I do not know. Do you have a specific?
I have one that's like I don't listen to anyone else, so I have to learn from myself moment.
Okay, share, please.
Yeah, where I used to lean up against my grandmother's coal-burning stove whenever it was really cold, and I knew that it hadn't been running for very long.
Like touching it?
I just got really comfortable being really close to it to get warm.
Yeah.
And so one day I was just like next to it, and I just went and sat my like arm and my hand down on it, and it was like full blast, like as hot as it could get, and like I got the palm of my hand really bad on it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Which I always said that if I had kids and I tried to teach them, like, hey, don't touch the fire or whatever, which we say that weird and people are going to be like, oh, fire.
The fire.
So don't touch that fire. That feels wrong.
Fire!
And they continue to like be like, oh, well, I would let them do that and learn from their mistakes. Like, you're not going to do it again. Did you ever do it again?
No.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
But could have also like probably found another way to take that seriously. But it happened the way that it happened. It is what it is.
I don't remember doing.
You don't have anything. It doesn't have to be like that. Just something that sticks in your head from when you were growing up.
I mean, there's a lot of different stuff, but like random story. My dad had a billy goat as a child. And that billy goat was in love with my dad. Like, would follow him everywhere that he went. It was really weird. But my dad was like his person. And I'm like maybe 4 years old. And this goat does not like me. This goat does not fuck with me at all. And here I am just like, oh, animals. I love animals. And I'm following my dad around. And this goat, for whatever reason, decided this is the day that I'm going to pummel her ass. And I just remember being like this small little child and looking at this huge animal coming up with the horns and everything and just bucking me right in the stomach and me doing like somersaults backwards.
Not good.
We didn't have the goat after that. My dad had to get rid of it. So.
Yeah. Well, we all have our stories. And today we're going to watch a Jaden animation titled Things That Happened While I Grew Up.
Okay. Maybe this will like trigger some core
maybe
memories.
After we watch it, we'll think of some other stuff.
Yeah. When I was living on my own for the first time, I had to go to the store and get milk and paper towels. And that was the first time I was like, wow, I am such a freaking adult. I really appreciate the childhood my parents were able to give me. I'm really privileged to have grown up in a functional house where my parents didn't want me to die. I made a parent stories video a little over a year ago, and I rewatched it to make sure I didn't repeat any topics. And all I'm gonna say is those stories and animation are not worth 10 million views. That video, I don't like it. I don't like that video. My parents were really, really big on manners and being polite. We've got some Asian blood in us, so we can't bring dishonor to our family. We do all the typical things like call adults Mr. and Mrs., ask to be excused from dinner, make sure to thank everyone for everything ever, bow to our superiors. When my mom had new people come over to the house, she would make me introduce myself and shake their hand, and then when no one was looking, she'd pull me aside to a different room and quiz me. What color are their eyes? That was my mom's training course to get me to be good at eye contact, because I guess I used to be stupid and not look at people when they talked. But I remember that kind of backfired because I'd be so focused on memorizing their eyes that I wouldn't pay attention to what they were saying. Hi Jaden, how are you? Alright, loser, I've got a quiz to take. Now that I've got 20 years of aced eye quizzes under my belt, I'm an eye contact wizard. I graduated top of my class in eye contact. I've got eye contact master's degrees. Well, every once in a while, some people make me nervous, and I get shy. But other than that, I'm an eye contact powerhouse. I realized more recently that I think sometimes I go overboard and just end up staring at people by accident, and it's very weird, and I'm sorry at everyone. My mom would also be really strict on me saying pardon all the time instead of what. Like, she would say something I didn't hear, and I'd go, what? And she'd stick her head around with, pardon? I wouldn't be a bimbo and be all, What? It's not like I was being a rude moron. One time, my friend told me, Jaden, I think you're the only person I know that says pardon. And like, that's all fine and dandy. I could respect my mom's request to use an underused polite word. But I can't. Because she's even worse. This is what she does. Mom, did you put my book somewhere? Huh? Objectively speaking, a what is exponentially better than a huh? I started mocking her whenever she did it, and then she gradually stopped bothering me about saying pardon. Also, I realized I never told you that I had a lisp as a kid. My parents meme on me about it all the time, and a running joke in the family came from when I used to be babysat by my mom's friend, who's Italian. Which means she'd talk like this, and have her house full of a spaghetti, and oh mamma mia. I'm only half joking. She's very Italian. Yahoo! She would make pasta for me all the time, and whenever she would ask what I wanted for lunch, I would pathetically go, pasta with no sauce! I wanted pasta with no sauce.
Yeah.
And now, if my family would be having pasta for dinner, someone would end up going, I don't have a list anymore. Sometimes it shines through when I talk too fast or get sloppy with my words, but somehow I fixed it by myself. In first grade, we were learning about letter pronunciation, and when we got to S, the teacher explained that some kids say S with their tongue, when it's actually supposed to be behind your teeth. And I was like, oh. So I stopped doing it. Cured. Who knew that if you've got a speech impediment or some sort of hindrance or obstruction in your life, just stop it. Simple.
Like the Michael
You've got
Jordan.
cancer.
Stop.
No, it's okay. Just stop it. When I was learning how to swim, my mom and her friend, who also had a daughter my age, hired a swim instructor for us. And I don't remember a single thing about it, except that she made us hang off the edge of the pool and just shimmy across the side. But I was terrified
You
of
did
these
that?
filters against
No,
the side
well,
and always
yes.
refused to go across them because I was scared of being sucked in or something. I don't know how I passed that class because I refused to do the exercise. But at least I knew her eyes were blue. And then at the end of each lesson, she'd give us a piece of licorice, like we were
Ew.
dogs. I didn't like licorice. Oh yeah, and also this one time I almost drowned and died. So my parents
Same.
were having a bunch of their friends over who also had kids for a pool party. There were a handful of pool toys like blow-up dolphins and beach balls, but we also had this floating foam mat. I was doofing off doing my own thing, and at one point when I was underwater, the mat drifted over top of me. When I had to go up for air, I hit the bottom of the mat, and I was like, uh-oh. Time for advanced critical problem solving. So if this mat is over top of me, I can't get up to the surface to breathe. So what do I do?
Go around.
I got it. I'll simply become a child Hercules and lift 3 6-year-olds from underwater into the air with my twig arms. Rather than using one of my 4 brain cells and swimming 2 feet to the side away from the mat, I decided to try and just bench press my way to survival. One of the adults realized I was being an idiot and also dying, and instead of being like, well, survival of the fittest, he dove in and saved me. So I didn't end up drowning of stupidity. Thank you, Mr. Chad. And now I'm here, on my own, moved to California, in my own place, not dead at the bottom of a pool, staring at everyone. Being honest, I love my family so much, and they've done so much for me. It takes a lot of effort to raise a person. Just think about how helpless and stupid babies are when they start out. They can't do anything. You can just put a baby on the ground and do nothing. Just leave it alone, and it'll just... pathetic. I'm so thankful and lucky my family's so supportive about everything I've been able to do, because I know not a lot of parents are like that. They even helped me sell merch at VidCon. They were so happy about it too. They came up to me after every day like, oh my gosh, Jaden, everyone's so wonderful. The people who watch your videos are so sweet. Someone asked me to sign their shirt, so I just wrote Jaden's mom. I was really nervous to pursue this career path because it can be a bit unpredictable, but the fact that they're so
Sorry.
proud and encouraging has helped me do so much more than I ever would have thought I could if I was alone. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Brown, Hazel. So I just got back from...
Sorry for like almost knocking your block
It's
off
okay.
there.
It's okay.
I was getting choked by my shirt.
Oh yeah, I was getting choked by my shirt.
Back.
Yeah, so the pardon thing, I don't know why, but I started picking up excuse me a few years ago instead of just being like, huh, or what.
Mhm.
And I was just like, excuse me. And people think that I guess it's just my mannerisms and my face, my RBF. People think I'm being so rude. So, like, I'll be like, oh, excuse me. And they're like, what? Like, did you need...
Excuse me?
I guess it sounds like that when I'm just like, oh, excuse me. I guess I sound
you can come off a bit abrasive, but so can I. So we're like, God damn, we're just a couple that comes through ruining everybody's fucking time.
Oh, no, it's them.
Yeah, it's us.
Jesus Christ.
It's the us's.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there are some times where I've been a kid in the swimming pool and I probably could have died.
No.
I actually saved my cousin.
Oh, really?
He fell into a frozen over pool, my grandmother's pool, when he was like 6 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I jumped in and got him.
So I was at Dollywood Splash Country one year, and I didn't learn to swim until I was like 10 years old. My mom was afraid of water. My dad is a really good swimmer, but like never really taught me. I don't know why, but anyway, I just kind of taught myself that year, actually, because I went to Dollywood in the wave pool.
Yeah.
And I had like one of the tubes, but I let go of it on accident and then almost drowned and was like, and it's like salt water. So I'm like choking and like salt water and there's hundreds of people around. And then the lifeguard had to save me. And I just remember being in the pool drowning and then all of a sudden out of nowhere being beside my stepmom. And she's like, did you really have to do that? And I'm like, I almost fucking died. I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, so there's that.
Wow. Yeah, there's fun been stuff. Some... Well, how I learned how to swim was my uncle threw me in a river. He was like, do you know how to swim? I was like, no. He was like,
you gonna learn today?
Yeah. He was like, do you want to learn? I was like, sure. He was like, yeet. And there my little... Me went into the river and I fucking swam, dude.
Isn't it weird how...
I swam quick.
Our generation was taught from the previous generation of just the most harshest ways.
I mean, it worked.
But here in the beginning of the video, I'm like, well, if I ever had kids, they'd be touching fire every day.
Yeah.
Like, so...
No, it definitely was a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 suggest not doing it.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
There was something else that she talked about that I was like, oh yeah, I've done that. And I don't remember what it was.
Lisp?
The lisp thing.
Did you have a lisp?
No. Well, I did have to go to speech class for a minute.
If only they would have not trained you.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to talk anyway. So... Oh, and the eye contact thing. Okay, so I'll touch on the eye contact thing first. When we do videos, I never know where to look. Do I look at Chad? Do I look directly into the camera, into your soul? Do I just kind of look away? And you've probably noticed this. Or you can go back in other videos. I'll just look at the TV instead of look at you because it feels wrong to stare directly at you.
Well, I look at it like there's the audience, like the webcam. Like, so whenever I'm breaking out of kind of what we're doing and I'm speaking to the audience, then I stare at the camera because that's where they're going to see us.
But then it gives me stage fright, even though I'm just in a room with my partner and no one else.
These
it
are
makes
our friends.
Me nervous.
Why are you nervous?
But anyway, so my dad had a really bad lisp when he was a child, and my dad is a twin, and the only person that could understand my dad was his twin. That's how bad his lisp was. So he was like his interpreter.
Okay.
And my dad, I would beg him to like tell me how he spoke. My uncle's name is Larry. My dad's name is Gary. Gary and Larry.
The twins.
The twins. Double R's. Gary and Larry. And my dad can only remember that he called Larry Heedy.
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 It came from their twin language, like growing up.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
So we've all got our stories, you know. Growing up's different for everyone, and tell us some of your stories. I would love to hear about some silly things that went down, and I know in the comment section, this could get interesting. But share away. Let us know what it was like for you. If you've got anything interesting you want to share from your childhood.
How did
we
you
would love to
learn
hear it.
how to swim?
Yeah,
Did you
learn how
have
to
a
swim?
normal, like, parenthood where they took you to swim lessons? I did not.
No.
I did not. I remember after that incident of me almost drowning, like, on that vacation, we had a pool in our hotel, and it connected outdoor to indoor. And I remember just, like, being off to myself and swimming, trying my best to swim from inside to outside. And there was this lovely family outside that saw what I was doing, and they were like, oh, you're trying to learn how to swim. And instead of being like, we'll abduct you, thank God it didn't turn out that way, they taught me how to swim.
Cool.
Yeah, that could have gone really poorly.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, you know, whenever I joined the Navy, you would think people who join the Navy are like, I may end up on a boat, so I need to know how to swim.
Yeah.
Dude, the entire 3 months plus of boot camp, there were some people that had to wake up like 2 or 3 hours early when we were already only getting maybe 5 hours of sleep, maybe a night, to go to swim class every single day until they could pass just the floating drill in the pool because they could not swim.
I kind of take that back, but that is crazy. If I was going to the Navy, I would know how to swim.
But not only that, but like when you're there and they're training you to just let your body mass float on the water for 3+ months, they were freaking out. They would lose their shit and fucking sink in the water.
I told you my floating story. I know that I told you my floating story.
Are you wanting to share this with
the
everyone?
world? Maybe not.
No?
Okay.
You've already brought it up, so we can either edit this out and not talk about it,
I said that I didn't get any formal swim training, and that's a lie, now that I think about it. It was just after the fact.
She's a liar, ladies and
of
gentlemen.
how, like, I already knew how to swim, but I got swim lessons at 4-H camp. Because I signed up for, like, all of the outdoor stuff. I was very much a tomboy. And, like, while my friends were taking, like, cooking and painting classes, I was, like, outside doing, like, the outdoor survival stuff. And so I had swim class, and we had to learn how to float. And it's really embarrassing. But there was a lifeguard, and I'm like, how old are you in 4th grade?
I don't know.
Well, I wasn't in 4th grade. I think I was in, like, 5th grade. So, like, what, 8 years old? Is that right? Something like that.
Somebody math for us. Anyway.
9, 10. Anyway,
probably like 10.
Probably like 9 or 10. Mm-hmm. That feels right. I hope. I'm just going to say the younger that I am, the better I feel about it. But I pretended that I could not float because I thought the lifeguard was smoking. So he came over and was like, oh, well, let me help you. And, like, chubby little me is just like, ah, ha, ha. And he's, like, touching my shoulders. And I'm like, I'm going to die. And this is amazing. And then I floated instantly and was like, look how great I learned from you. And he was like, yeah, sure. And he knew. He knew. I later went on to get a photo with him. Gina has that somewhere. So
yeah, we need to track that down.
Oh my God,
we'll post that on YouTube so everybody can see it.
I had like a sunburn from being outside so much, and like I hadn't grown into my nose, which anyway, still haven't. But I'm like, like big circle face, just like so excited. Gina scrunched my hair. I have so much gel in my hair; it's like crunchy. Fun times. Growing up was different than it is now.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's always been the case. So. It's time for us to share our old people stories.
Yeah.
With the world.
With our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, grandchildren.
Papa Bartlett.
Meemaw.
Meemaw.
Meemaw Nikki.
Yeah, so anyway, Jaden, great video. As always, you guys should go support her. She's a wonderful illustrator and storyteller, as you can see. We like doing these videos. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to come up with ideas of what videos to watch, given the overwhelming amount of ridiculous stuff that's on YouTube. So suggestions that you would like to share with us, we would appreciate it, because honestly that's where I've found most of the awesome stuff on YouTube that I've seen is through my friends recommending it to us. to me and to us. So if you guys have any suggestions, please drop those down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, we would appreciate a like, a subscription, and notifications. You can turn that on with the bell. And until next time, I guess that's going to do it for us.
That's it.
Yep. See you then.